Now there's another group that's dear to our hearts because we've experienced it firsthand in some of the research we've done. Universities, educational institutions, professors, we are particularly vulnerable to corruption. And if it's not bribery and thievery of your stuff, which is, it's now to me, I've become so jaded in the fact that I look at some of the things that we've done that were scooped up and called their own, okay, and actually blatantly called their own. Even small little committees do the same thing. We've had some pretty first-hand experience. We're not going to name names.
No,
but we've seen it. We've seen it where someone will say, "Hey, that's a good idea. Thank you."
well, one of the big problems you have is in research and development and going for government funds on this is how you disclose and how much you don't.
Right.
Because one of the biggest problems we have in Canada is if you steal somebody's technology and information with know-how and the likes, there's very little consequence to the thief.
Yeah.
In the United States, it carries a very heavy jail term, not to mention the financial repercussions of them coming after you for the theft.
Right.
In Canada, it's if you get a slap in the wrist, that's about as bad as it gets, and we need to get a lot tougher with regard to the theft of technology.
Right.
And
Even scholarly materials. We have a professor that works with us who was talking about having one of his research papers stolen by one of his professors and presented by his own professor. And how one day he finally had his comeuppance when he had actually confronted the guy who came in on another committee or whatever and said, "I will not deal with that thief." You know, that he stole it and managed to get him off the program. The problem is that it's so rampant. And also, I was looking at Kijiji the other day, somebody was willing to pay $50 for someone to do an essay. I don't know how to write essays when you write one for me.
well, that's academic theft, but let's get into some of the more serious ones.
Right.